48 hurt. 48 hurt. 48 hurt.
So I'm really excited because Nina's turning 16. I didn't have a sweet 16. And I'm just here to play photog. So sometimes you just got to get your invite how you can get your invite. But I'm really excited because we're going to have a really good time. Again, we're finding things that find us joy. One of the things that makes me happy is seeing other people be happy. Is seeing other people find internal reasons to smile. And so playing dress up, my first ever sneaker ball at 32 years old. And it's at a sweet 16. It's gonna be awesome. I'll post some pictures or I'll add them here and I'll take some videos to throw in too, but we're trying this thing. We're finding our joy. I know I can't be the only person that's ever experienced this. So here's another entry on we're trying to find our joy and what that looks like. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to take pictures for a sweet 16 birthday party. My first lady's daughter turned 16. It was amazing. Like, we had so much fun. We were dancing, line dancing, bunch of teenagers. I was like, this is awesome. I've never had a sweet 16, or I didn't have a sweet 16. So very interesting, right? My voice is all hoarse because I'm like laughing and talking. I still got my hair wrapped up because I got another event to do tonight. Anyway, I was thinking about it, like how amazing it is when you have the opportunity to give your kids something, right? Like, I don't have children. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, like her parents went all out, 3-layered cake. Like, it was a sneaker ball. So everybody's dressed up and then wearing sneakers. So I'm just thinking not only about the financial investment, the time investment, like there's a lot that goes into planning a sweet 16 birthday. I mean, we had 2 sets of food. Like, we had food and then they brought out like a late night snack. I was like, this is genius, right? But it was fun. So as I was driving home, I was just thinking about this. And I just laid in my bed thinking about I didn't get a sweet 16. And I don't really know if I wanted one, but it's like, okay. Really didn't do a lot for prom. So all these like milestones I feel like I missed. So I was just laying there, right? And it's piled on top of a few other things, but I'm laying there. I will go to bed. This morning I wake up, not necessarily thinking about that anymore, but just thinking about how I have all these things to do. If you ever owe the IRS, pay them up front. So I paid the IRS. So I'm like, okay. So that takes money out of my account. So I have to figure out, like, do you rob Peter to pay Paul? What do you do? And so as I'm in this pickle, I was like, you know what is interesting? I bought groceries yesterday, so I'm okay. I have what I need for the week to go to work. I said, I really just need like $100. I pay my brother's girlfriend's son, because he's like 12, to take my trash out, because I hate taking trash out. So I give him an allowance. And I need to get quarters because we don't have a washing machine in our apartment. I know, I hate it, but this is where we are. So I'm like, I need to go get like $40 worth of quarters. I also need to give him like $10 because he took the trash out all week. And then I'll keep the other $50 for like gas, little stuff, whatever, right? They gave me a gift bag yesterday. So let me stop. So I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, Lord, it's crazy that we can serve, we can pray, we can cry, we can fast, we can do all these things. Somehow, some way, we're still the ones struggling. So when people are like, well, I don't want to be a Christian. There's a million reasons to be a Christian, right? But I get it. But I'm sitting here, literally, in my mind, like, about to be crying. How do I make this work? I got a lot on my plate. I'm taking care of a lot of people. But I've not been elevated financially to be able to continue to take care of these people. So I'm like, what am I doing? So they gave me a gift bag yesterday. I knew it was a lotion there because I saw it. So I took the lotion out because I'll give it to my niece. I don't like to smell good lotion. And it got really loud, sorry. But then there's a card. There's always a card. I love cards. So I'm reading the card. And a $100 bill drops out. And I'm like, deep breath in. Thank you, Lord. We got to stop meeting each other like this. But I am appreciative. You know exactly what I was going to say. You know exactly what I needed. You know exactly what was going to get me over this hump. And you knew what would give me some type of resolve in my spirit. So for that, I say thank you. So as I continue to try to find my joy, and whatever that looks like, this definitely goes into the plus category, because he never leaves us or forsakes us, and he knows everything that we need. So if you need a little encouragement, that's what I have for you today. I love you. Okay, so part 2 of the day. I went walking. It got a little interesting. So as we journey on to try to figure out, like, where do we find our joy? And if we ran into joy, would we know what it feels like? I realized that I could be a little airheaded. And as much as I'm a control person, I also understand that there are so many things that you cannot control. One being, I walk, and because I'm a very routine person, I end up walking the same route. And it's almost like I aimlessly do it. I don't think about it. I just start the journey. And by the time I do it, I'm end up walking in the same direction. Well, today got interesting because on my way home, somebody was trying to get my attention, and I'm good for like one track mind. So I'm listening to something, I walk, I get back, I know exactly how much time, I know how many miles it's going to be. Like, it's very prescriptive. And I'm sure if you are at all a true crime girly, or just anyone who lives in these world parts in 2023, you're probably like screaming at me. But this man tried to get my attention, and he followed me all the way to like my apartment, like the outside door of my apartment. And I wasn't paying any attention because I'm like, I'm not trying to pay attention to you. Now, I did see the make and model of the car. I did not turn around because I didn't want to see the license. I didn't want to turn around, so I didn't end up seeing the license plate. So that was a lot. But it was interesting, to say the least. And then I ended up just kind of sitting with myself. I needed to kind of pull myself back together. I was, of course, telling my friend about it just so that someone else knew that this is happening to me. And I just kind of got stumped with this question. I was having a few other conversations throughout the day, and I had heard that there are 3 types of people in a relationship, and I can only remember 2: the fixer, the supporter, and I think it was the demander. I think that's the 3rd one. If you know, let me know, because I do want to remember the 3rd one. But I think it was demander. And I'm a total fixer. It's how I operate, it's who I am. I'm a fixer. Well, the issue with being a fixer is that you end up getting a lot of problems that come your way. And although I can thrive in being the fixer, when people don't take your advice or don't take my advice, I get frustrated. Or I usually just get flustered. Like, I'm trying to help you. I see the wall you about to bang your head up against. I'm trying to put my hand right there so you will detour. You're still banging your head up against the wall, and that you're banging it by choice, not because you have to. So I get a little frustrated, I'm not gonna lie. And that ended up happening today. And so I was asking one of my friends, like, hey, how do I not become a fixer? Like, is there any way that this could not be a part of my personality? Is there something that I could do that eliminates me wanting to be a fixer? And what he said back to me was, do you really want to give up that part of your personality? And do you think you would be happy if you did? Okay. So of course I'm like, no. I'm really good at it. I actually thrive in it. I like problem solving. Problems are they're like Rubik's cubes for other people. I cannot do a Rubik's cube to save my life, but if you give me a problem, you think about some alternative ways to think through them and alternative solutions that make life work, or at least make life a little bit more manageable, there's always there could be a potential solution. And sometimes the solution is to wait. And sometimes the solution is to not act. And sometimes the solution is to not give in. And so there are just some things where I'm like, yes, I love problem solving. And he said, if it wouldn't make you happy and you like this part of your personality, then why don't you look at it very differently? And I was like, okay, well, what's differently? Like, I need a tangible. What is differently? And he said, your innate feeling, your first thought is to go in and fix. What if your first thought was to be quiet? What if your first thought was to just give silence? And in giving silence, that person may end up deeming it uncomfortable, but may end up talking themselves into their own solution, and or they may ask you for your opinion, which then the person is more willing to accept it rather than you just immediately offering a solution. Okay.
Like, it was one of those, like, I should have thought of this. I didn't think of this. I appreciate you for bringing this to my attention. Also giving me the space to just be able to ask questions that I'm not able to ask often. And I've been sitting with that. So as I part 2 this day, going to a dinner party with friends, I'll try to get some footage. I realized that that's one of those things. Silence. Beautiful thing. And as I journey to joy, I'm going to enjoy my silence. I'm going to enjoy giving people silence and allowing them to figure out their own problems. And I'm definitely going to enjoy watching them thrive as they find their own solutions, because no one really wants their life dictated to them. They want to be the owners of their own lives. And I want to be able to give them that. And if they ask for my opinion, I'll give it to you. Give it to them. But I need to remove some emotions around fixing problems, because I attach a lot of emotions and feelings to them. And then if they backfire, or when they backfire, or the person doesn't listen to me, I get personally offended. Instead of saying like, okay, like that's I'm sorry that didn't work out for you. I gave you a solution, because I'm not a big, like, I told you so person. So I usually just get really emotional about it. And I get flustered about it. And I don't want that. I don't want that for myself. And I don't want that for the person that I'm talking to. The journey to joy, it's a place. It's a place. It's definitely a thing. I'm trying to get there. I'm going to get there. We're going to journey to joy. It feels icky right now, but it feels like day 2 of a workout journey, where when you first start, everything is really hard and it's uncomfortable and muscles hurt because I've never used them before. And my brain hurts because I'm agonizing over results instead of enjoying the process. And by enjoying, I mean enjoy adjacent, because there are some processes we don't enjoy, but all processes we get to learn from. So this is my journey to joy. Stay tuned. I'll try to round this night out, because it's been a very fantastic Saturday. And I know it's going to get better as I go have a dinner party with my friend celebrating his birthday, his life. It's going to be beautiful. It's gonna be a day. I'm excited about it. And then I'll definitely have some more footage for tomorrow, because we have church, and then family's getting together for dinner. We didn't do Easter last week, so we're gonna do it. So I'm excited. Stay tuned.
Day 3. My voice is coming back slowly. I'm getting ready to go to church, but yesterday was so much fun. So I took a few pictures. There was always a lot happening, only because when you ever walk into a friend group, if you walk into your friend's friend group, then you're the outsider. And so it's talking to people, and the friend is trying to play hostess, but it's also their birthday. So everyone knows how that goes if you've ever been to a birthday dinner. But it was really a lot of fun. Like, I enjoyed talking to people and seeing where they came from, and, like, of course, what they believe, and what is making them happy, right? And so we were celebrating a milestone 35. And I'm like, what did it feel like to turn 35? Because I'm not there yet. And of course, for some of the guys, they're like, it's another day. And for some of the girls over there, they were like, 35 was kind of big. It was big. It was kind of life-changing for me. It felt like a shift was happening. And I'm like, okay. So, like, some people feel it at 25. I think I felt part of mine at 30. But not yet being at 35. You kind of get it. But then his dad, whom I love with all of my heart, was essentially just like prophesying to everybody. He was like, listen, the Lord wants to talk to you. And I was like, I'm all ears. So it was a lot of fun. But what he said to me was, one, that he said, God wants to clean my laundry. And at first I was like, I don't think I really know what that means. And he said, the Bible said that when you cast something onto the Lord, he throws it in the sea of forgetfulness. And I said, it does. And he said, so God forgives you, but you don't forgive yourself. Okay. And he was like, God wants to bless you. Like, you've been talking to him, but you've not let him talk to you. You're trying to figure it out. Hi, I'm Ashley, and I'm a control freak. Like, and I was like, this is true. And he was like, so what God is telling me to tell you right now is to stop trying to figure it out. Like, let God do it. And I'm like, okay, right? When you get prophesied to, and something that, although could be broad for a lot of other people, it's very, very, very specific. And it's very, like, timely. I feel like every time God gives a word, it's always very timely. And we know that he operates in infinite time, but it's very timely. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, Lord, like, I appreciate you, especially coming off of what happened, you know, yesterday morning. And so I'm just like, okay. And then he said, whenever you get time, you read Psalm 61 and you just keep that with you at all times. And I was like, okay. So I read it last night before I went to bed, and I was like, this is one of those scriptures that you anchor in and that you continuously go back and read. Not necessarily that you tattoo, but you totally could do that if that was your jam, but just something that you might have bookmarked and you go back to it and you just kind of keep reading it, because when you're frustrated like I am, when you're flustered like I am, when you're trying to figure things out like I am, when you're on a journey to joy like I am, you realize that it can come in a lot of different ways, and it may come from a lot of different people, and it may come in a lot of different forms and words. And as I journey on to joy, my answer has been yes. Whatever it is, Lord, yes. I'm gonna, you know, go out and have a good time with my friends at a dinner party. They end up going to a club. I was like, I'm going home, but my answer is yes. So day 3 as I journey to joy this particular weekend, which has been a jam-packed weekend, but it's been so much fun. I'm excited for what this day brings and what other beautiful things that the Lord not only releases in the sanctuary, but even after the sanctuary. So I'll keep you posted. Have a great Sunday.
48 hurt.